Alrighty. Hello, everyone. Welcome back, Lounging with Leash. And it is a great day to start this conversation because, I feel like the timing is really perfect. This is a topic that I'm really passionate about, pretty much like all the other topics. Yeah, so if this is your first episode, thank you so much for joining us. We are now on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and YouTube, so listen wherever you do please. Obviously, the YouTube is a little more exciting because you get to see where I am lounging, and you might even be able to see a little putt butt behind me. So, Lounging with Leash is where we share and talk about things that inspire me, that are interesting, that are uplifting, and have a little bit of fun because, as you all know, we're all living through this really intense and emotional time, and so I needed a project, quite honestly, that could get me excited to get out of bed, to give me something to do that was a little bit more life-giving, I suppose, and a little more just felt like, a way to connect with people during this time. And even if no one listens, it's getting me out of bed and it's getting me to get dressed. So that's helpful, besides my job, of course. So before we get into the topic at hand, which is what I'm going to call the GOAT game show, Jeopardy, as always, we start with today's mug of choice. So today, we are drinking out of the Sacramento Republic FC mug. And if you know, you know. But if you don't know, you don't know. And that is Sacramento's soccer club team. So it's, I'm not a huge soccer person, so I'm probably not describing this right. But the MLS, the Major League Soccer League, is, like the equivalent of NBA or MLB or NFL, if you will, for soccer. And there's minor league teams below that, kind of like a AAA team or AA team for baseball, and I'm sure they have all the equivalents. And so Sacramento Republic is one of those teams for the MLS, and they also we won the bid to become an MLS team, I believe in 2022 or next year. I'm not 100% sure, but anyways, this mug, I really love it because I love Sacramento, number one. And I got involved in the team because my old job, I was an account manager at a digital marketing firm, and one of my clients was them. And so we got all this cool swag. I got the scarves, I got some free tickets, and I started really learning about the team and the matches and how soccer works. And now I follow a bunch of the guys on Instagram, and it was really great experience working with them. They're very passionate. I worked with one of the owners and their team there, and just really smart people, really passionate about minor league sports in general, and then also really passionate about Sacramento, which I have so much respect for. So with that bid of the MLS, they are actually going to be beginning building out the new rail yards, if you guys are familiar, over by Golden One-ish off the freeway there. And they're kind of like redoing this old rail yard, and they're turning it into the new stadium. And then they're also building a bunch of restaurants and retail out there, so that'll be a really cool addition to downtown. So anywho, I hope you have a great beverage with you, whatever it might be today. If you are lounging AM or PM, whatever. What's your whistle? If that's like an old people saying, but that's fine. And so anyways, so let's dive in. Today's topic is Jeopardy, aka the GOAT of all talk shows. Ooh, that'd be a good topic too, but no, game shows. And Jeopardy, so my obsession began early on. I would say that I don't think I liked it at first. So this is a household show that my dad really likes watching. And as a kid, when you don't know anything, it's kind of like, this is boring. Like, this is an old people's show. But then as I grew up, I realized it was really fun to like compete and try to get more answers than my dad and my brother and my mom. And I am a competitive person, so that was really fun. And, I think I just have a lot of respect for Alex because he I think this is the true fact that he has been doing it consistently, and he is the longest running host of any game show. And it's either that or he's tied with Pat Sajak from Wheel of Fortune. And it's just really impressive that this man, I think he just turned 80, which is insane. And so, like, hats off to Alex. He's also battling pancreatic cancer that I think we found out the last year or two. And he's still just, like, championing through all of this and just holding it down. And the only thing to stop it was COVID. So they finally ran out of new episodes. And right now they are showing what they're calling From the Vault. And so that's been kind of funny to watch, like, how it used to be. I describe it more as, like, I watch this with my roomie now, and we were watching some old episodes, and it feels way more game showy, if that makes sense, like a little more gimmicky. The crowd was more like yelling, and they're doing it real fast, and people could buzz in before Alex was even done. And so it felt like really, like, almost like a little bit anxiety inducing for me, because I'm like, can't we slow down a little bit? We read it really fast and all this stuff. So it's evolved a little bit. And, you know, if you remember, it used to be like literally the old TVs, like each square was a TV, and they would just, instead of like digitally putting the question on the screen, they'd like zoom in real tight to the frame. So it's just funny to see how it evolved, but then also not evolved. Like, the concept really hasn't changed at all, besides the fact that the wagers, I think that what you would win, I'm pretty sure has doubled. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it started out just like as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 1,000. So it's kind of funny to see, like, concept really still the same. However, mad props to them, because I think this is why I like Bachelor too, in that both of them managed to have like spin-offs but still create the same concept. So like the franchise has done Celebrity Jeopardy and Teacher Jeopardy and Tournament of Champions and Team Jeopardy, and they found a way to like keep it interesting and kind of like change it up while still having the same concept. And this is the other thing, I'm such a sucker. So they are so smart. They've woven, or maybe the advertisers are super smart. They know that people fast forward through the commercials now, right? Like, and so they're so smart that they put commercials that look like the actual show in the middle of the commercials. So you stop and you're like, oh, is this the show yet? And no, it's Geico, the gecko talking to you. So just great marketing. But so that's just on the show itself. But I think my favorite part of it, besides just like wanting to get them all right, is the way that Alex, in my opinion, and this is how I'm reading it, I could be completely wrong, he is kind of semi-trolling most of them the entire time, where he's like, he will give like digs or like, whoa, not yet, or like he'll say little quips that like kind of seem like it could be a dick move, but never actually is close enough to be considered that. And like, it's so fun to watch and point out when he does that. And then the other funny thing is like when he will be interviewing the contestants during that like super awkward interview period, he's like, he asks you, so I have a note here that says like, you once hiked Kilimanjaro and you did it in 10 days or whatever the hell it is. And he goes, and then like, well, how was that? And the guy will be like, well, it was really great, it was hard, and blah, blah, blah. And then he'll just like awkwardly cut them off and be like, okay then, and like walk to the next person. And especially if it's like a weird story, like the things people choose to share are like the weirdest. And I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that like they give you like a whole host of things that like contestants give Jeopardy a whole host of things that like could be included in that conversation, and Alex or someone chooses. So it's kind of random, and I feel like sometimes they kind of choose the weirdest thing, like, you collect something, but it's not a normal collection. And then like the lady will be like, yes, that's right, I collect cats figurines or whatever it is. And it's like, and those are the times where it's like, oh, like cringeworthy, number one. And number two, Alex is always just like, okay, great. And if he asks a follow-up question, it's even more uncomfortable usually. It's like, and then it's just like, okay, let's get started. Love it. He's just, I imagine he's probably a nice guy, but I like to pin him as this evil villain because it makes the show that much more entertaining. And my other favorite thing to do is like, when me and my roomie are watching, is like, we troll everyone. So now, this can be seen maybe negatively, but it's really fun, number one. And number two, they're not hearing you, so it's fine. So basically it's like, anything is up for grabs, right? Like if they're wearing something weird, or they make weird faces, or basically anything. And I just love like pretending, of course, like I know better than everyone else and I'm amazing and perfect. It's a really fun game to play. So I highly encourage that, like trolling them, because it's harmless fun and it's really a good time. Yeah, so those are basically like all my thoughts on Jeopardy. I would encourage everyone to give it a whirl. Apparently it's on Netflix now. So even if you don't have cable, or I guess it's network television, even if you don't have like old school TV, I guess you could get it on Netflix. And here's the other tip. Hot tip would be to try to see like what categories you tend to enjoy. So like for me, when they start introducing, and this is something my dad and I do, when they introduce the categories at the very beginning, number one, pay attention, because that's going to give you clues as to what the questions are about, obviously. But sometimes if you miss that, it's going to take you a while to orient to like, oh, what is the question again? What does the category mean? And it slows you down, okay? Second of all, when they say them, I kind of like rate, like if it's like geography, I'm like, no. Or like music, yeah. If it's like word games or word puns, I'm like, yes. Or if it's like Shakespeare, no. Like, so for me, I kind of like already kind of know which categories I think I'd be strong in. Obviously, sometimes it doesn't always work out that way, but so I try to pay extra hard attention in the categories that I think I'm going to be good at, because then, saves brain space or function for the categories that I think I'm really going to be really good at. But yeah, I think it's a fun thing to play. If you have people that you live with or whatever, I definitely think it's more fun with someone, because I've tried watching it alone and it's like, you get it right and you look around and you're like, like, woo, like there's no one to even react to the fact that you got it right, or to be like, oh, great job, or just to like breathe. So maybe don't watch it if you're alone, because that's a little depressing. But maybe you're not like me. Maybe you're like, you just like learning. But I've also found, here's the funny thing, I've also wondered like if I actually learn anything from it, you know what I mean? Because it's so fast, and when someone answers and I'm like, oh yeah, that thing, I don't think, and I could be wrong, I really don't think anything sticks for me. Like, because I'm pretty sure I've like rewatched an episode like on accident one time thinking, oh, I haven't seen this one yet. And same thing. It's like I only get the questions that I knew before. And I'm like, and that's what makes me realize that I've already seen the episode. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember the ones that I got. So, not sure if you'll learn anything, but maybe you guys are smarter than me and can pick it up faster in those 4 seconds the question is. But maybe that's a new challenge of mine, to see if I can actually remember something from the show. And then the other last ending thing is, if you've ever seen the SNL version of it, they've done so many over the years, and it's usually some people impersonating the Celebrity Jeopardies, and those are great, because Celebrity Jeopardy is already a little funny because they're playing for charity and they're like big personalities, they don't care as much, and taking it to the level of like making fun of it is like usually one of the best skits on SNL. And so if you want to look, I think, yeah, they're all on YouTube, I'm sure. Like, I just watched one the other day, and it's like, yeah. So if you want to laugh, start there. And yeah, so that's all. That's my Jeopardy rant. Why Jeopardy is the GOAT. Alex is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. I just really dig it. I hope that he can beat this. I really don't know how the cancer is progressing in him. I know that it's not usually one that is beatable, but he looks amazing. He's Alex, he's the man, and he's killing it. So, not that anyone's going to see this from Jeopardy, but just in case, all the best to Alex. And, if and when he passes away, because he might live forever, he might be a robot. I think they should just cancel the show. Honestly, there's no reason to continue on without him. He is the show. But, I mean, maybe it will continue on. We'll have to wait and see. But not for a long, 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 long time, we hope. So, anywho, thanks for listening. I hope you have a great day. Sleep tight. Enjoy your run or walk or whatever you're doing. And we'll talk next time. Cheers.